Captain's Logs, update 200717.5. All the boxes are unpacked, and I've used up my weekly rations to replicate a guitar, Gibson Firebird. Win for me. Now to cook dinner. I'm thinking of having Brynner, in the form of a full English, or to give it its full name, that massively racistly named Brekkie the Oik Seat. Oh, and headphone warning to those watching. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter. We have quite a lot of subjects to go through, so I think we should start with the BBC, who, courtesy of the BBC Bite-sized Twitter account, put out a Parents, How Do You Support LGBTQ+ Kids? I'm sensing an issue already. Maybe I'm a boomer, but I wonder if they've realised it yet. Accompanying it is a video. I am not going to play that video. To me, this reeks of tacky, and at no point should we be putting sexuality and children in the same box. But again, I might be too old to fully understand this. And it's equally possible through the medium of a drag queen, children might be able to understand this better. What do I know? I'm 34 after all, and all I see is, what? Next we're going to go to PK Banjo, which accompanying it will be some audience participation. Can you describe your favourite game as boring as possible? While many have replied to this with video games, he did say game. So do feel free to mention any game you like. It could include Dodgeball, British Bulldog, It, Keep Away, 52 Card Pickup, and the list can really, genuinely, truly, eternally go on. Even though I don't like this game, I'm going to go with Monopoly, and I'm going to say, seize the means of production. As many of you will undoubtedly know, currently in the UK courts, there is a case between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This case is incredibly sensitive. There is a lot going on, but a lot of the evidence was made public long before it went into a courtroom. The claims and the photos that accompanied it paint a rather alarming picture of what life was like for either or, depending on who you support in this. With that in mind, Amber Turd was trending on Twitter. Why, do you ask? Because there was a photo of a marital bed. In the middle of it was some chocolate pudding. Yep, chocolate pudding. I'm not showing that picture, by the way. It was a strange chocolate pudding. I think it had sweet corn in it. Best of luck to you both. With that though in mind, to continue on from that, Kathy Griffin has thrown her support behind Amber Heard, where she ended up getting ratioed beyond all belief because she took a side, and many believe it to be the wrong side. The court of public opinion is resoundingly in Johnny Depp's corner, which flies in the face of the listen and believe many would perpetuate. Kathy Griffin supports that, but the evidence for the most part is in the public domain, and it does paint the picture that Johnny Depp is the innocent person. Of course, we will wait for an official judgment, but until then, we have plenty to go on if we really want to speculate, something which I think is pointless. Again, I want to wait until it's all concluded before I even consider making that video. Talking about the chocolate pudding might just be the only thing I talk about. Beth Winter is an MP for the Labour Party, and she noticed that the Chancellor has a mug. It cost £180 and hers cost £3. Hers is quite stylish, it's a dinosaur, I love it. This is my mug. It's a BitChute mug. Technically, it cost me $60 because I'm a subscribe star patron of BitChute. Silver tier, by the way. I now have 2 of these mugs. Well, I will do when the second one arrives. For some odd reason, Beth Winter thought it was a good idea to use the cost of his mug as a point and indicator to hammer him on wealth tax. But then the position of the Labour Party in the past for wealth tax caused many millionaires to leave the country. There is a fine line and a balance between how much you can get away with taxing somebody before they just move everything to Switzerland or Guernsey. And I think if you're going to hammer him for having a really expensive mug, to make the larger profound point, air quotes around profound point, perhaps have a leg to stand on first, since your party has a history of taxing to the point where no one wants to be here anymore. I will, however, now use Beth Winter MP to again ask for audience participation. I tweeted out my mug with my Zoidberg pop. Yes, it's out of its box because I'm not that guy. to tweet to me on the tweet I've linked down below your mug. I want to see your mugs. Some people did reply with Robo Cup. That was fantastic. A collection of mugs. Honestly, people engaged. I loved it. Send more. Long ago there was a war, and with this war came a price. The price was families torn apart, friendships destroyed, relationships in ruin, the courthouses full of people demanding people be sent to death, for they deserve nothing more than to have their life taken away, for dare having a stance, depending on which government's in charge, to rule over this one. Domino's Pizza normalized pineapple on pizza. A few years ago, this was doing its rounds on YouTube, and I made a short video on it. This is going to be a short video addressing the recent comments about the inclusion of pineapple on pizza and those that support such blasphemy. You belong in a cage, like a zoo animal, so we can all point and laugh at your low-level mindedness. You, the pineapple pizza lover, are a disgrace to the species of humanity, and one should wonder if you have an extra chromosome that has somehow made you defective. If you are one of these people, might I recommend you go lick out the inside of a used-flavoured condom instead. You can stop defiling pizzas and get the savoury and sweet taste you crave so much. No doubt some of you are pros at this anyway. By introducing the pineapple, a fruit only suited to cocktails, to a pizza, you are essentially saying that you are uncultured. You are brain dead. You have no taste buds, and that your opinion is skewed in the direction of communist sympathizing. Somehow, with all of this perceived controversy surrounding the topic of pizza and topping, I feel it's right to point out that division can only end in a sea of red. Is that what you want? To go to war over being wrong. To go to war when you cannot win. To go to war against not only your allies but your enemies, all of whom hold the superior toppings. The President of Iceland is right, and you are fools for thinking that a pineapple should hold position on such a delight. When this is all done, the pineapple shall only hold place as the food of the little bitch that lost and spends their time cleaning my toilet. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. I will, for the sake of it, just say, I'm not going to take a position now. I don't care enough. It's not my thing. But I do think healthy debate about the subject of pineapple on pizza leads to rather entertaining mad bants, which is what usually happens when you dare tweet out normalized pineapple on pizza. It gets the spurgs going. It is fantastic, and Domino's, well played. Punny Paws or Puny Paws, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce your name, I do apologise, drew something quite spectacular, and many people tagged me on the tweet because of what they saw. This is what they saw. I'm going to link Punny or Puny Paws' Twitter, because they deserve all the followers for the art they produce. And this is fantastic. In truth, I haven't seen many people draw tentacle-faced related creatures beyond my own. And of course Cthulhu, you don't see it very often, it's not the most common thing. So it's quite nice to see someone draw Omegle. Although there is already an Omegle, yes, there are pictures of me as Whammon. Not showing those though. I'm a dick. You're right. I'm sure many people have watched Tiger King. I personally have not, but I am very much aware of Baskin, and by extension, Carol Baskin, who was trending on Twitter with a video where she gave shout-outs, I think through Cameo. This is the shout-out.
Oh, you cool cats and kittens, it's Carol Baskin at Big Cat Rescue. Hi, Rolf Harris. All your kids wanted to get together and tell you that you have really touched them and that they love all that you have done for them. I hear there's a lot of great stories about you and your best friend, Jimmy Seville. Can't wait to hear those. Happy birthday, Rolf.
Just for the sake of those who don't know who those people are, Rolf Harris was an artist, a kids' TV presenter artist, who once painted the Queen for her birthday as a portrait. Jimmy Savile was a TV presenter most famous for Top of the Pops and various other kids shows including Jim'll Fix It. He also did marathons and raised a lot of money. went to a lot of kids' hospitals, both of whom diddled. Yes. Jimmy Savile, though, wasn't busted until after he passed away, because then people realised they could come forward because the BBC shielded him. And Rolf Harris was done a few years ago, went to prison, and is now out. He's in his late 80s, and the fact he's still alive is a mystery, and actually quite astonishing. Although he has managed to overturn some of his convictions. So he's not as much of a diddler as many thought he was. Some have said that this means Carole Baskin was trolled. Yes, she was. But I'll be honest, at the same time, I don't think she cared because she got paid to say it. That is the point of Cameo after all, and I doubt she, in America, would be familiar with an Australian and a UK TV presenter. Yesterday, Dick Van Dyke was trending on Twitter. No, he's not passed away, thankfully. What actually happened was, there were celebrity tweets about rather interesting versions of English accents on Frasier. People then replied comparing them to Dick Van Dyke, which led to Dick Van Dyke trending, with people then thinking he passed away. He trends even more, which rather interesting then led to many people forgetting why he trended in the first place. Much like the metal, Dick Van Dyke can never be defeated. The final thing I'd like to talk about is actually a great example for why we still need a Twitter edit button. Some dumb American, hi SDA, some men bring their girlfriends flowers. Mine brings me roads. Although, I would say, I see enough of those in the road all the time, flattened, so they could be considered at one with the tarmac. As with all things we cover on this series and on this channel, I would love to know what you think the stupidest thing in this week's twat is. So please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I'm going to stream tonight on Twitch, but there will also be a political recap on the Moistski Live channel. If I don't see you on Twitch or on Moistski Live, I hope you have a fantastic Friday and subsequent weekend. And thank you all for listening.